Whoa, what was that? First, I'm Jeff Schneider, and that was, well, it was the altered dominant scale. I know it didn't sound like a scale, but all of those notes came from what's called the altered dominant scale, and that's what we're going to talk about today, because this scale is one of the most important scales that you need to know for jazz improvisation. Okay, so what is an altered note? Why is it called the altered dominant scale? The word alter just means make it flat or sharp. So we're going to talk about the 9 first. When you talk about a G9 chord, that sounds like this. And that note at the top is A, that's the 9. And if we're talking concert key, that's a C and a B flat 7. Now to alter it, again, we'd make it sharp or flat. Now in the case of the altered scale, we're actually going to do both. So the altered scale contains both the flat 9 and the sharp 9. You got that? The flat 9 and the sharp 9. So in the case of G7, A is the 9, A flat is the flat 9, A sharp is the sharp 9. What's the next extension after 9? Was 11, right? So the way we're going to alter the 11 is make it a sharp 11. Now what's a sharp 11 in a G7 chord? Well, the regular 11 would be, well, let's find out. By the way, another way to figure out the notes, the extensions, the numbers, and the scale, just count up. So G is 1, A is 2, B is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way back to C. So C is the 11. We're going to make it sharp, making it C sharp. That sounds like this. Top note there is C sharp. That's the sharp 11. Finally, we have the 13. Remember, 1, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Did I say that all right? I think so. Flat 13. That's what we're doing. We're making it a flat 13. In the case, again, in G7, it makes the E, which is the regular 13, and E flat, which is the flat 13. You can also think about this as a sharp 5. I know it's getting all over the place here, but believe it or not, the sharp 5 and the flat 13 are the same exact note. Because in a G7, the 13 is an E, the flat 13 is an E flat. Now, in G7, the 5 is a D, and the sharp 5 is a D sharp. E flat and D sharp are the same note. So you can talk about the flat 13 and the sharp 5. It's the same exact note, it's just a different end harmonic. Whatever, doesn't matter. The important thing is that we have this chord now. So I just played a bunch of notes there. We're going to break it down. And actually, we're going to stop playing arpeggios. We're just going to go into scales here before this gets way too long-winded. So we're going to build this altered dominant scale, starting with the 1. The 1 is G. The next note in the scale is the flat 9, which in the case of G again is A flat. G, A flat, that's the 1, and then the flat 9. You could also call the flat 9 the flat 2. It's the same kind of thing, but we're not going to do that. Let's just call it the flat 9 for now. Once you get past the flat 9, you go to the sharp 9. The sharp 9 is A sharp. So we have G, A flat, and then A sharp. After that, we're going to just hit the regular old third, which is B. And from there comes the sharp 11, which again is C sharp, concert E. After that comes the flat 13, aka sharp 5, E flat or D sharp. And then we have one more note. Hang in there. It's just the regular old flat 7, which in this case is F. And then you're back to G again at the top. It's a cool sounding scale, and it's a really great scale for jazz because it makes use of all those altered extensions. Now, you don't want to just play the scale up and down. It's just going to sound like you're playing a scale. You have to know how to use it right. You know, just like with any other scale or any other thing you learn, it's all about how you use it. You can't just play a scale up and down and expect it to sound good. So there are certain phrases that sound good, certain resolutions that sound good with the altered scale. I made a like a supplemental worksheet thing to this lesson. It's available on my site, and I'll link that down below. It's got like over 20 licks in there using this scale. Really cool stuff. Actually, it includes the one I played at the beginning of this video, so you can check that out. Oh yeah, there's one other thing I wanted to say about this altered scale. Another way to think about it. There's a couple ways to think about it. One way is if you know the melodic minor scale. That's I don't want to get, this is gonna get so long, guys. But the melodic minor scale is a minor scale with a raised seventh. It's a raised 6 and a raised 7, actually. So the altered scale is the 7th mode of the melodic minor scale. And I know if you don't know your theory that well, this just sounds ridiculous. It sounds crazy. But for some of you, it might make sense. And for those that it just sounds like a bunch of nonsense, eventually I think you'll probably get there once you keep watching some of these videos and studying your theory. It's not like absolutely necessary that you understand that relationship between the melodic minor and the modes and all that, but it's kind of interesting to know. It's good to know. So I'll talk about it a little bit more. If you're not interested in this, I think you could probably skip to the end of the video. Maybe I'll say something interesting then. So for all you diehards out there, what was I saying? The A flat melodic minor scale, if you look at the 7th mode of that scale, you get this G7 altered scale. So here's the A flat melodic minor scale. That's 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, raised 6th, raised 7th, and then A flat again. So in terms of notes, it's A flat, B, or C flat technically, D flat, E flat, F, G, and then your A flat at the top. And if you start that same set of notes on a G instead of an A flat, you get the G7 altered scale. Pretty cool, huh? Now, honestly, I never think of this scale in terms of A flat melodic minor. I only think of it in terms of G. So I think about the 1 and the flat 9 and the sharp 9 and the 3rd and the sharp 11 and the flat 13 and the flat 7, and then you're back at G again. Actually, there's one other way that you can think about it. It's intervallically. This is actually one way that I do use. I think about starting on the G, going up a half step, then a whole step, then a half step. So I divide the scale up into 2 parts. That was the first part. Again, up a half step from the root, up a half step, whole step, half step. Half step, whole step, half step, half step. The second part is pretty easy. It's just whole tone all the way back to G. That was the second part, whole tones. From part 1, half step, whole step, half step, and then from there, it's whole steps all the way up. This scale is the same way up as it is down. Check out that sheet I was telling you about with all the licks. That's really where this is all happening. It shows you how to resolve the scale into from a 5 chord to a 1 chord, and that's where this scale, or this scale really shines. It's when you look at it and you put it over a 5 chord. So if you have a 2-5-1, like I played at the beginning, and that was in concert C, my A, by the way. So that first chord was the B minor. That's outlining a B minor scale. And then I laid this altered dominant lick at the end there. And that's making use of a lot of those notes. It's got the regular 3rd, the sharp 9, the flat 9, the flat 13. There's a lot happening there. It sounds really hip, really cool. And I'm going to stop talking right there before I say anything else. If you're still watching, you're a diehard. And if not, then I feel your pain. But check out the sheet. I hope you guys like it. Thanks for watching. Again, my name's Jeff Schneider. If you have any questions about this, feel free to leave them down below. I also do Skype lessons. You can email me about that at jeffschneidermusic@gmail.com. Happy shedding. See ya.